Circle the ankle a few times. And then extend your leg up to the ceiling, flex and point your foot vigorously. Think of pumping your calf muscles here. Good. And then let's release the feet to the floor. Knees bent, feet maybe as wide as the mat. And stretch your arms to the side as you collapse the knees side to side a few times. Make sure they collapse all the way over, both of them. So make this a fairly slow movement. Pause on the right, cross your right ankle on top of the left thigh, and turn your head to the left. Good. Let's bring that back to center. Right ankle still crossed over left thigh. This time, let's pull the left knee in for a stretching the right hip here. If you feel very open today, you can add on the following. Extend your left leg up. Walk your hands up to the calf or ankle. And pull that in. It's up to you if you want to engage your abs and lift your shoulders off the ground. All right, release both feet to the floor again. And now collapse both knees left, crossing left ankle over right thigh. Good, bring that back, left ankle still crossed as you bend your right knee in. Work that left hip. And remember the little add-on, you could extend your right leg up and reach for it. We're going to slowly release that. Roll to one side and come up to seated cross-legged position. Cross your right ankle in front of left. Try to even slide shin in front of shin, flexing your feet, and place your hands on your knees. So I want you to actually cup your knees here, and we'll do those arching and rounding movements. So pull on your knees, push your chest forward, arching your spine. And then exhale, tuck your chin in, roll back behind your tailbone, cave in that belly, and tuck your chin. Do several more. Make this about that pelvic rotation too. Inhale as we arch, and exhale as we round. Should this bother your low back, please just do the movement with your neck and not with your whole spine. 3 more. And also notice your shoulders roll forward as you round, and then they rotate back toward the spine as you arch. And back to neutral. Good. Take your hands at the heart center for a breath. Stay tall, just kind of floating up through the spine and crown. Now on an inhale, sweep the arms out and up. And exhale, fold forward. Try to really sink your belly down so you get into the hips here. 2 more breaths. And walk your hands back. Going right into wild thing here, the seated version. Swing your right foot behind you, watch your knees, just do what you can, and maybe lift your hips up. Right arm up. Good, release. And let's go through the cross-legged position with the left ankle in front. And this time still cupping your knees. Let's rotate the trunk 3-4 times in each direction. You haven't reversed yet, do that soon. Good, back to neutral, hands at the heart center. We'll do a little side bend. Press your palms together and straight up. Inhale. Right hand to the floor and side bend over. Really fan those left ribs open. Take one more deep breath where you are. Arms up on that next inhale. And switch. Final deep breath here. Arms up, inhale. And for the forward bend, release down. This time, walk your hands over to the right. And to the left. Good, let's bring it up to seated again. Take that left foot behind you and do wild thing with your left arm up here. All right, let's release down. Come onto all fours here. And let's come right into the tabletop. Shins parallel, scoop the belly up. And let's stretch the right leg back. Left arm forward. Engage your right glute here, please. Gonna bend your right knee so the foot points to the ceiling. Option 1, stay. Option 2, reach back with your left hand. Find the top of the foot and press the foot up against the hand. Lift the foot as high as you can. Gaze can slowly lift. And find your stability here through the breathing. All right, let's release the hand down to the floor. Bend your right knee to your chest and round the back up into a cat. Good, we'll continue right on from here. Come onto your fingertips and step your right foot between your hands. Runner's lunge, tuck your back toes under, lift that back knee. Option, just lift your chest forward. But option 2, raise your whole torso and arms to the ceiling. And now think of your left hip being fairly light. So don't sink it down. Make it light so the right hip has to work. Take 2 more breaths here. Now, on your next exhale, slowly lean forward. Place your hands to the sides of your right foot and downward dog. Let it out. Let your head hang freely. Good, and just lower back to all fours again. Now, some of you have a stronger practice and you will go into a plank pose. So follow me if you're on all fours, otherwise you're going to go to plank. On an exhale, you're going to lower down to your belly. You can always drop your knees first. On an inhale, you're going to come to a cobra or sphinx on the forearms. Take one more breath. And let's all press back to a quick child's pose here. Get off those wrists. Take 2 deep breaths. Good. And back to all fours for the other side. Neutral spine here. Stretch your left leg back, right arm forward. Now bend your left knee, foot facing the ceiling. Right hand reaches around and catch if you can. Otherwise, just work toward it. Catch your top of the foot and press it up. The higher your gaze, the harder the pose. All right, cat stretch. Hands to the floor, and let's bend the left knee to the chest. Push the upper back up. And release out of that and step your left foot between your hands. Take it where you want. So let's go into a partial runner stretch or raise your arms to the ceiling, torso up, and breathe. Try to find some glute engagement here. Again, think of that outer right hip not just sinking down heavy. Keep those hips square. Inhale, and with an exhale, slowly place your hands back to the ground and go downward dog. If you don't do down dog, puppy pose, go to the knees and lower your chest to the floor. Otherwise, in down dog, I want you to lift up onto your tiptoes. Soften behind the knees a little and press your chest toward the thighs. On the next exhale, press your heels back and down. Hands push down and forward to counter that. One more breath. All right, we'll do an early side plank. Let's lower to the knees. I'll do this on the forearms. Follow me, or do it on the hands, but bring your right arm or hand down and do your side plank on that side. Left arm to the ceiling. If you're on your hands, you can switch through down dog. Otherwise, we're going to lower the right hip and then switch that way to the left forearm. Do your version on the left side now. Good. Release. Everyone will come right to hero pose. So sit between your ankles using your prop. You know your variation. Those of you who'd rather lie on the belly and do this. Go as deep as you safely can. Keeping your knees grounded. Very good. Now make your way back up and all the way through to the counter pose, which today we'll use standing forward bend. So just tuck your toes, feet quite a bit apart, and bring your torso down. For the first one here, keep it soft behind the knees so you can really work on that hinge in the hip creases. Hang your head down, the chest down. Just clear the mind. One more breath. And slowly brace your belly more and come rolling up to standing. Good. So up face side raise, you want to come to the front of your mat. And you have the choice of either doing a tree, challenge yourself, grab that ankle and pull it high to the inner thigh, or even go to half lotus. Left foot is held by your right hand. So pick. And the available hands can go up to the ceiling. Maybe raise your gaze to make it a little harder. Just breathe, calm your energy down. Wherever you are, slowly in your own timing, make it back to a warrior one. So left foot steps back. Square those hips. And raise your arms to the ceiling. Deeply bend that front knee. And press your left thigh bone backward. Option, take your left hand to the nape of the neck. Grab that elbow with your other hand and pull it a little to the right. Left elbow to right, square those shoulders more. Feel all parts of your body in this pose for 2 more breaths. Good. Release, hands to the hips. We're going to challenge our legs a little today. Now rotate off of the back heels. You're only on the ball of the foot. So you're back in that runner's lunge, right? Hands at the hips. Option, stay. Option 2, arms like wings, but a little facing back. Lean forward. And option 3 will go, brace the belly and come right into warrior 3, which is really more like airplane pose in this position. Scoop the belly, use your glutes and stay for 3 more if you can. And at the end of this, step left foot next to right. Remember, you can always adjust this to your level that you feel today and rotate your arms. Chest turns all the way right, all the way left. Get some deep breaths. Good. Back to mountain pose at the front of your mat here. Take a breath. Coming into tree pose, your left leg is now your standing leg. Or do the half lotus if you grab the top of the foot. Use the same cues again. Let the breathing steady you. Eventually make it back to warrior 1. Arms float up. Breathe into the lower lungs again. Now, one important thing, just sense your right foot. Notice whether you have any weight on the outer foot or if you're kind of collapsing to the inner foot. If so, if you're collapsing, straighten your front knee, ground your outer back foot, and then re-lunge. Now, if you get the variation, right hand to nape of neck, draw that right elbow left and breathe. All right, hands to the hip creases. Spin onto the ball of your back foot. Stay here, option one, just work your legs. Option two, lean forward, arms reach back. Final option, lift off the back leg. Find a sense of ease here, although this is a hard pose. One more. And step right foot next to left. Shake it out. Good. So we'll give the legs a quick break here. I want to do a quick neck exercise here. So you want to hang your arms down by your sides to start. I'll show from the back. You're going to reach your right hand behind you and grab whatever you can off that left arm. Walk that hand up the arm. Good. Once you have that, slowly hang your head over to the left. Feel that nice stretch on the right side of the neck. Now, see if you get anything out of it if you were to lift your chin a little to the ceiling or down to the collarbone. All right, let's switch. Arms hang to the sides. Left hand reaches behind you, grabs anything you can off that right arm. And then hang your head right. Play with that option that I should talk about on the first side. Good. All right, let's release that. And if you have a yoga block, please grab it now and put it between your thighs. Higher than the knees, since we're going to bend down knees. Good, so I'll show this from the front. Stand, squeezing that block lightly. And then sit back into a chair pose. Bring your arms forward and palms touching. Because you can squeeze that block, and it helps you align your hips and knees. Now, rather than doing a full prayer twist, I want you to really sit back with your hips. Keep your left arm forward, and on an exhale, stretch your right arm back. Maybe you do a 180 with those arms. Look back to the right thumb. Drop your tailbone another inch lower. Ooh, come back to center, palms touch. Inhale. Exhale, left arm back. Open the chest. Good. On an inhale, bring those hands back and stand up. Good job. Roll the shoulders. And now take your block. You can use it still. We're going to use it in a moment. Step your feet wide, so turn sideways on your mat. And then I'd like you to, let's come to warrior two. Turn your right foot open. And I want you to place that block on the big toe side. And you'll figure out how high it needs to be once you get down there. So wide stance, arms out. And before you bend your right knee, it's harder to discuss this over Zoom, but I want you to take a moment and root the back foot down and then bend your front knee. So half the weight is on your left foot now. Look to the right hand and breathe. Feel whether your shoulders are stacked over your hips. Want to do that. Option, you stay. Option two, lean forward and place your right hand down to the block. If you want to challenge yourself more, put the block to the pinky toe side, left arm up, or even left arm overhead in line with the left ear. Deep stretch. Belly scoops in, takes 3 more. And in this variation, there's actually some weight on your right hand pressing against the block. Good. Engage your core. Bring that block with you and press up. Good job. Good. And let's just put the block down. Remember, arms out. Weight settles back to the right foot and then bend your left knee. Still breathing into the lower lungs here. Imagine your hips and shoulders both squaring with the long side of your mat. The neck is free. One more breath here. Option, lean forward and lower the left hand down. Place the block where you need it. Maybe extend your right arm over the right ear. Feel that openness in your body right now. You're really challenging your body on several levels. Just breathe into that. Scoop up the belly and press up. Bring that block with you again. Good. Take a closer stance here. And I'd like to try to go from triangle into half moon, which is completely optional. You can just stay in triangle longer. So, slightly shorter stance. Right foot turns open. Maybe put the block again to the pinky side. Arms out. Settle into the back foot. Tilt your hips backward. You all know the pose. Reach forward and then down. And since you have the block, make it high if you need to. You can again explore that option where you press into the block and turn your gaze out. Now, for those of you who want to explore half moon, make sure your right waist lengthens now. So bend your right knee a little, look down, and lean your chest forward. Bring that block. Act as if your left leg is a standing leg. So press that back into the air. If you feel really secure here, take your hands very lightly on your right ankle. Take 3 more. Good. Bring that block with you. Right knee bends and bring it all back. Good. Let's set up the left side. As you know, triangle first. Keep weight in the big toe mounts at all times, not just the heels. Inhale. And to triangle as you exhale. Well, if you want to look down and come to half moon, let's go for that. Use your corset here and breathe calmly. Hand to left ankle. Embrace the wobbling. Leave the block there and come up when you're done. All right. Turn your feet to a parallel position here. And before we do the forward bend, turn your heels out, the heels in, toes out, and come into a goddess pose. And more so, make it a stretch for the shoulders. So here's how it goes. Hands to the thighs, close to the knees. Lean the chest forward. Now I want you to lock out the left elbow and rotate that left shoulder down. What that does, it stretches your left shoulder and the left inner thigh. And look over the right shoulder. Come back. Lock out the right arm, like there's no elbow. Press against the right thigh and roll the right shoulder down. Do one more round. All right, once you've done that round, come up to standing. Feet go back to parallel. Good. Hands to the hips. Inhale, look up, stretch back. And lean forward. Keep the weight forward in the big toe mounds. Lean forward, and folding completely. Straight knees with engaged quads or slightly soft knees. Now, if you want to walk your hands over to the right foot and kind of rotate the hips left, so think of wagging your tail to the left. Even if you have to bend your left knee a little, get that right leg as straight as comfortable. And switch sides. All right, release. Now, if you're comfortable with the following and while you have access to your block, bring it close to you. And we're going to go right to lizard. So rotate right foot right, walk your hands right, and set up lizard. I'll explain the whole thing. Just ignore me if you're already in lizard. But what you want to do is step your right foot to the right edge of the mat, hands to the inside of that foot, so you're in that deep lunge. You might be able to put your forearms on the block. Those of you who like vinyasas, this could be a good time to go back to down dog, eventually to a plank, and go down. If not, you're just going to switch out to lizard on the left, foot forward. Good. When you're done with lizard, let's come quickly to a child's pose, or you do another vinyasa here. One more deep breath. And we'll make our way into pigeon. So you can go right to pigeon from all fours, or I suggest go to a down dog first. So that way you get to stretch out all the joints one more time, tread it out a little. Eventually sweep your right leg up, and then forward to pigeon. Use the block to put underneath your forehead and find some moments of stillness here. Feel that energy vibrating in your body now from all the asana. All right, those of you who want to lift the torso and grab the left ankle. Otherwise, just stay in pigeon. And together, let's move back to downward dog. Sweep your left leg up and forward into pigeon pose. Find that inner silence again. Add on a short practice of gratitude. Maybe simply think the words thank you and let them sink in. If you want to come up and grab that right ankle, go for it. Let's invert one more time into down dog in preparation of camel pose. So go to down dog where I fix the camera. And from our down dog, we'll just sink down to the knees. Before camel, so you're in tabletop, just rotate your hips, wide circles around the knees. Please, if this hurts your knees, you're on a hard floor, just skip that or put a big towel under your knees. Other way. All right, come to stillness. Our hips should be nice and loose now. And let's stand up on the shins. Hands to the back of the pelvis or walk them up to the low back. Take a moment to feel the low back open and broad. Now, I like to lean my hips almost slightly back so it engages my quads and glutes, and then lift the chest and the gaze. Maybe you can reach your hands down to the ankles, maybe not. Open the chest, and it will stretch your core muscles too. Good. Carefully, abs engaged, shins pressed down. Come back out of camel, back to tabletop, and very slowly round your spine. And release, and we'll come on to a seated position. So sit and just shake out your legs out in front of you. And let's move on the legs to a wider position and step the left foot to right inner thigh. Ground on both sitting bones here. And now sweep your arms up, inhale, turn the chest to the right ankle and fold. And come up. And switch the leg position. Float the arms up, effortlessly inhale, turn to the left leg and fold. Inhale, come back up. Extend both legs wide. Sit on your block if you have no tilt in your pelvis here, or if it goes backwards, right? So you want to sit tall on your sitting bones and lean forward. Stretch those inner thighs. Flex your feet if you can. And try to press your hamstrings toward the floor ever so gently. Let's come up and step the soles of the feet together. Pull those heels in and lean forward again. This time, try to keep your spine long. Feel like you want to place your belly onto your heels. Good, let's come up, extend your legs forward, shake it out. Step your right foot across your left thigh and twist to the right. Final breath. Good, turn forward. If you're not sitting on anything, let's counter twist. Rotate all the way left, lean left and drop to your forearms. Coming back up now, and let's turn this into half cow face. So grab your right foot and pull it to the left hip. You're stacking your right knee on top of the left knee, more or less. You might need your belt here, a little bit around the left foot, but you don't need much. So inhale, sit tall. Exhale, fold forward. Come back up and release that. Stretch your legs out. And let's go to the other side. Step your left foot across the right thigh and twist left. Keep feeling that upward energy in the spine. It's not just a rotation. Final deep breath, twisting more on the exhale. Unwind and counter to the right. Lower to the forearms if available. And let's come up. All right, half cow face, left foot, drag it toward the right hip, stack your knees as best as you can. And fold forward on an exhale. come out of that, shake out your legs or rotate them in and out a few times. And we will go to the floor now. So take it to the floor. If you are doing the supported shoulder stand, grab your block and you're gonna lie down. I'm gonna guide you verbally from here on out. So lie down and either put the block underneath your hips and extend your legs up, or shoulder stand, just lift your hips up and legs and balance on the back of your shoulders, not your neck, please. And from here, just do variations. Just bring the legs apart, sideways or front and back. Just breathe. Those of you who have a full plow position, lower your feet down behind your head. Be the observer here, don't go too low. Good, final breath and then slowly roll out. If you're on the block, you might just want to extend your legs onto the ground to get that nice front hip stretch for a moment. Good, take one more deep breath, maybe rotating your head on the floor side to side. And then come into your version of a fish position. So that block can now be used behind your back. Put it a little higher or maybe right across your bra line area. And I'm doing it on my chest, but this is behind your back. Put the block this way, not that way, but this way, yeah? And otherwise, you're going to be on your elbows. Make those collarbones really broad. Draw the breath deep into your lungs. All right, and let's slowly release out of that. Turn your head side to side one more time. And take a deep breath to cleanse. So you're still lying flat on the floor now. Bring your head to neutral. Step your feet on the floor. Make sure your knees are stacked over the ankles. Arms to the sides. Scoop the tailbone under slightly and lift up to bridge pose. If you feel a lot in your low back, step your feet wider so you can access your glutes a little easier and press those glutes and hamstrings up and forward to the knees. On your next exhale, slowly roll down, upper, mid, low back. And now drop your knees open, soles of the feet connect. One hand on the chest, one hand on the belly, and take a couple deep breaths. And now turn this into happy baby pose. Lying on your back, grab the outer or inner edges of your feet. And as you pull your knees closer to the armpits, the challenge is to keep your sacrum pressed toward the floor. Good job. And release. Straighten your legs onto the floor. Maybe shake them out. Take another cleansing breath. Final pose today. Let's do a twist. Step, so you're lying on your back. Step your feet on the mat. Cross your left leg over the right leg. Arms are out to the sides like wings. Now scoot your hips a little left and drop your knees over to the right into a twist. Maybe the head can turn left and breathe. Good, let's come up and switch. Neutral spine and hips here. Right leg over. Hips shift right. And then drop your knees left. Rotate the right ear to the floor. Good, when done, come back to neutral. Our last asana today is Shavasana. So just spread out on the floor now. Palms can turn up and take up some space physically and energetically. Really spread out. Allow the back muscles to relax into the floor. Glutes and hips soften. I'm just going to focus on a couple deep breaths. So just draw the air in through the nose. Inhale to the very top. At the top, just pause a second or two. And let it out through your mouth. Slow it down for 2 more. We'll switch back to soft nose breathing. Think, mind relax. Mind relax. Nothing you have to be concerned about right now. Give your body and mind this healing time. Now deepen your next breath. Wiggle fingers and toes. As you inhale, raise your arms overhead. Exhale, bring them down, draw your knees in and rock side to side. Now let's roll to one side and sit up. Place your hands together in front of your heart center and think of one thing that you're grateful for right now. Namaste.